I think that the first struggle was about when we understood the full scope of the job we need to do. I worked 10 years in the banking sector here in Latvia. And 3 years ago, I decided with one of my co-founders to set up something by ourselves and to build something rather than to be in a bank for another 10 years. We decided to go and set up a platform, equity-based, to attract investment for the small, medium-sized companies here in Latvia.
What was the feeling? Did you feel scared, excited?
At the beginning, I feel excited. Then you are facing the first problems. Then you get scared. Then again, you attract some new investments. Then you're excited. It's always, it is like a roller coaster.
Hi Janis, thank you so much for coming to the Life of Founder. How's it going?
Excellent. Very well. Except from the weather, everything else is fine. We are keep rolling.
It's winter. It's winter. You're in Latvia, so winter is pretty tough now. So, as we start, would you like to paint a picture to me where you come from and how it all started?
Yeah, for sure. So I worked 10 years in the banking sector here in Latvia, in one of the private banks. And 3 years ago, I decided with one of my co-founders to set up something by ourselves and to build something rather than to be in a bank for another 10 years. So to build up something by ourselves. As my partner is coming from the equity industry as well, investment banking. I'm from the banking industry, so we decided to go and set up a platform, equity-based, to attract investment for the small, medium-sized companies here in Latvia. So this is how all started. We went a couple of rounds across the Europe to get the proper license for our business activities because we wanted that everything is transparent according to the law. So we went to the Spain. Then at that time, we found out that there will be new regulation coming out in European Union. So we started communication with Latvian regulatory. Right now, this is Central Bank of the Latvia. So we started some very good communication with them. Found out that there will be a license as well in Latvia. Then we went another round with to bring the proper IT solution. And in the end, we found out that it's much more easier and more properly to do it by ourselves. So a little bit more than a year ago, we got the license in Latvia and started our first project, equity-based. It was Gega Diapers. So right now, it's not so easy. I think the toughest part is to educate the society here in Baltics that they are more open to the equity investments or investments as itself, because normally Latvia is very well known with the loans, with the fixed income products, and we wanted to pioneer the industry. It's not easy, but we still keep our fingers crossed, doing everything we can, and moving towards to some success and to provide potential investors some good projects to invest in.
You have been working before, being an employee, and after you moved to being an employer, being an entrepreneur. What was the motivation? Why have you done this?
So, as I said before, it's a challenge in your life. After 30, 35, you are seeing different the world. Okay, you are thinking about different things in your life. One of the things is the legacy. Pretty much, you are thinking, what will you leave after your professional career, and to build something up from the scratch, from the zero. It's not the easiest part, not at all. It's like a roller coaster. You are up and you are down. But when you think that you are doing this for yourself and building for yourself, and everything, and each hour you are spending in this project is for yourself, it gives some kind of motivation for that, to keep moving ahead.
So, how was the feeling when you started? I mean, being entrepreneur is a different story. It's very challenging. As you said before, you have a lot of up and down, a lot of things to do, and it's not an easy path. Uh, what was the feeling? Did you feel scared, excited? How was it?
I think altogether, all the things you are mentioning. So at the beginning, I feel scared. At the beginning, then I think, oh no. At the beginning, I feel excited. Then you are facing the first problems. Then you get scared. Then again, you attract some new investments. Then you're excited. Then there is some pros and cons. It's always, it is like a roller coaster. It's not like every day you have the positive feelings and the good news. You need to face with the bad news as well, and accept it as a reality. And then you need to find the strength to move ahead. So I think this is the most challenging part. This is not like you're not happy every day, but still. So if you know the goal, where are you going? Another good thing is when you have a very good team with you who have the same goals. We have a team of 5 right now. I have a co-founder. Support from the team is which motivates you. So this is very good and very important part of each and every entrepreneur, to have some supportive team members with you.
The team helps a lot. If you are capable to build a very good one, have a very strong co-founder that can help you, it helps, and it's very rewarding in terms of uh, motivating you. But what were the struggles? What do you find the most difficult part when you started?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I mean, when you start to put pros and cons on the paper, and when you realize that it's not enough with the idea, but there are plenty of other things you need to count it on, and when you realize that it's not only 9 hours you need to work, or 8 hours or 10 hours, that it pretty much takes double the time, and then you are the first struggles, where we will get the next people, where we get the right people who will support in this field and other ones. I think that the first struggle was about when we understood the full scope of the job we need to do. This was the first big thing, when we realized it's not only, to rent a car, to go to the salon and rent a car. This is one thing, but when you need to build a car and think about all the aspects in the business, this gives the first struggle. And of course, after comes the money issues, where we'll get the money to run the business. And of course, then you start to pitching, and it's always goes different as you planned, always the same. I mean, yeah, I think this is the most challenging, to realize the full scope of the job you need to do.
It's very difficult to go as planned, right? It's like always change. Every day you must change something, adapting something, everything comes new. It's funny how when I talk to founders, they say, okay, that's a beautiful business plan, very, very well done. But the point is, it won't work probably most of the time. So you have to adjust itself, right? As you go, you must start adjusting. Your roads will be different from what you plan to do.
Well, exactly. I mean, so this happened with us 2 months ago, when we realized that the equity industry in the Baltics is really struggling because lack of education, knowledge of the society. We decided to widen our license. We started additional communication with the regulator, and we realized that we need to provide to our investors fixed income products, which basically is very well known. Everybody understand. Crowd investor very easily understand when you say for them, whatever, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 15% annually. This is something very easily they can catch up. And yes, we did these adjustments to move ahead. Otherwise, if we're struggling with one thing, uh, we cannot just pull our heads down and so bad luck. We need to always look for another solutions, opportunities. This is a pretty much part of the entrepreneur's life.
Adapting yourself. I understand the market very well because that's what is going to price you and give you the money is the market. In the end of the day, you need them. Okay, investors can't give you the money for help. You need the market to survive, and to succeed. So you must understand the market very well. How being an entrepreneur impacted your life in a good and a bad way?
There is good and bad things, but not. It's not necessarily bad things, but there is challenges. There is a good thing that you can plan your time yourself. Okay, like a Chinese proverb is saying, so the money equals the amount you put in the job. If you will work 10 hours, you will get $10. If you work 5 hours, you'll get $5. As easy as that. Of course, one thing is very good with when you can plan the time. You have free time. You can use it properly. I think this is a very good thing. But the most challenging thing is that you need to work not only 8 hours. With 8 hours is not enough because everybody is working 8 hours. If you want to succeed, you need to work 12, 13, 14, 15 hours a day. I mean, and that's kind of, you need to have very supportive family who understands the goals you're challenging.
I mean, having the family behind you that supports you and not comes against you, because many times being entrepreneur takes so much time away from the people close to you, because as you say, you need to work a lot, especially when it comes the very beginning. If you don't spend time, there is no way you can go. And maybe you're spending three-quarter of your day working, so that's pretty normal. But support is very very important. But do you give to yourself any kind of routine, doing every day some kind that keeps you on balance?
It's hard to say that in entrepreneur's life there is routine. I think every day is coming with some new challenges, new things you need to done. You need to prioritize a lot of things. It's not like you are a paid employee. Then you have a routine, pretty much. You know what you're doing every day. But as entrepreneur, it gives you a lot of new things, new priorities where you need to focus. Here can we do a little bit better? This is not so important anymore because this is the past. And as well, we are returning back to the word adaptation, and routine. What is routine? I don't have a routine in my daily job on my daytime.
But there are founders, for example, waking up every day at the same time, more or less. For example, go to the gym. Try to do something that it gives you some kind of guides.
It's not the my safe harbor is my family. When I with my family, I try to dedicate for them as much time as I can, especially for my kids, because they are the future and we are the past. As many time we will do some impact for them or spend the time with them, they will be spending with us when we will be an older ones. I mean, that's my safe harbor. But I have done a lot of things. I mean, so I went to the gym, I played squash, I played golf, I played in Latvian national team in the bandy or floorball. Uh, but it's changing as every time when you have motivation, you are good to go. If you lose the motivation, go and look for some other challenges in your life, what you want to achieve, out of comfort zone, pretty much. Yeah, I'm still waking up and trying to be at work at 9 a.m. in the morning. So that's my routine. I'm not sleeping. Okay, I'm taking my time with my kids in the morning and in the evening. So I try to be at work 9 a.m. in the morning, and pretty much as always, and leave the job at 6 o'clock. That's I think the only routine I have. except these days when I need to spend with, I don't know, with investors, with some guys outside the working hours.
I mean, in a bad day, or when bad day comes, have you ever thought, I'm the most unqualified founder and CEO, I won't make this? What am I doing here?
Yeah, in the bad days, I think the biggest enemy for the entrepreneur is the feelings, unprofessional decisions based on the feelings and based on your daily success. Okay, when you start to make the bad moves. Okay, in every crisis, in every bad days, there will be a bad mood as well, and when you're taking decisions in a bad mood, you can do it wrong. Therefore, you just need to live out these bad days and make decisions in the good days, because anyway, every after night comes the day. And if there is one, two, three, whatever, 1 week bad days, just keep focus. Okay, don't take strategic decisions, and do it after you have full confidence of what you are doing. I mean, this yeah, decisions taken on based on feelings is not, it's the worst thing you can do.
I agree. I agree. When you're nervous, never make any formal decision because you're going to be wrong and you will regret a lot. So I stopped doing this. I remember when I started, my God, there was an absolute explosion of any possible terms, right? I probably took 50% more, 70% of my decision when I was nervous, reacting in a very bad emotional way. I think 90.99% were wrong. So don't do this.
Yeah,
This
exactly.
is
In the especially this is in the investment world. I mean, so decisions made based on the feelings, it's something very, very bad, because this is when the market is making the money. When you have bad mood and when you are afraid that you will start losing the money, you are start selling like every other people is doing. And this is according to the human. But if you are strong enough and you can live them out, okay, live this period, and after that, so yeah, you are good to go. You are good to take decisions, but don't do it on this, yeah, on this don't do emotional decisions.
gut and emotion is good because it gives you a different understanding, but you should never make any formal decision in when you are emotionally involved. What do you like to do the most in your daily when you wake up in the morning, you have your day. During this day, which is not always the same, of course, they are all different. What really you like to do the most in your role?
I think all of my team members know that communication and communicate with the people is the thing I like. Okay, to understand the people, the I'm communicating with the three groups of the peoples in my professional life right now. From one side is the project owners, which you are attracting to the platform. Another big role is these investors. We are still trying to communicate with some of the investors where we see that there might be some impact. And the lead investors, I mean, the major ones, as we are still attracting the funds as well for the CrowdedHero, to communicate with some lead investors, to convince them to be part of the team and to be part of the journey we are taking. This is my passion, to travel, to understand the people, to be prepared, and to communicate. I mean, so I'm not really used to do, I mean, 24/7 sit on a computer. I feel very well when I'm outside, when I'm outside the office. This is the place where I feel very good.
Everyone is a different skills. You must very much use doing what you are best to do. Someone is very good in spreadsheets. Someone is very good in accounting, management, numbers. Someone is very good to speak to the others, motivate them, get motivation, get some
Max,
feedback.
everything is important. All the professions are very important. Even the janitors are important. Otherwise, you are not happy to go to the dirty office. They are very important part of the daily life you're having. I mean, so yeah, and you're right. So when you have the when you do what you love to do, then everything will be fine.
How do you keep going? How do you keep yourself motivated? Because this is a roller coaster, up and down, up and down. It's very difficult to keep motivation. How do you do this?
Yeah, I mean the from communicating with the people, when you get some good feedbacks from the existing investors, from the new investors, and when somebody gives you good feedback about what you are doing, this keeps you focused. So, oh, okay, Yanis, so I'm not doing so bad. So we can do one more round, okay, one more week, one more month, or one more year. So, and of course, to start seeing the biggest picture. I mean, to light in the end of the tunnel. When you start feel or see that, it gives you a lot of proper strength to keep doing. There's no specific. So some, yeah, it always pretty much. Sometimes there is some inspirational events, some inspirational entrepreneurs you are seeing participating in some of the summits, and inspirational talks. It helps me a lot.
It does. The beauty of going to these events, you listen other founders, you get inspired by them. Sorry, but today a bit of soul quote. You get inspiration by them. That's extremely important. But do you think about failure? Days come when you say, "Wow, what's going to happen if I fail?"
That's good and bad question, because as again, it's a human, to fail. This is according to human. It's good that you are not failing in the whatever in the first project or first two projects, okay? But still, so you need to analyze this and understand what was wrong, what you were doing wrong, the analytics before the project, before you start. So yeah, to make the right conclusions. What happened? I mean, we are doing on a monthly basis by ourselves and with our team what's good and bad. So where we can do better, what is struggling, but failure. We are failing quite often. We are failing. It's not always that you are making the right decisions. So yeah, the analysis of the things. So to understand.
Fail is there, but you must understand. That's the point. I mean, you must learn from it. But we fail. We fail every day. There is nothing to.
You cannot feel shame of that. You cannot feel shame because the only people who are not doing, they are not failing. So because one thing, anyway, you will fail one day on a smaller or bigger scale. There will be a failures. The only thing, what is the decisions or conclusions what you are making after that.
We live with it. We need to live with it. Of course, you must avoid as much as you can, but sometimes happens, get along with it and move on.
Yeah, that's true.
How do you like to spend your spare time when you have nothing to do, you're free? How do you spend your time?
Reading the books, one thing about I like the about the successful people, the biographies of the people. This is one thing. I like to be in an action with my kids. So in the summertime, whatever, sailing, wakeboarding. As I'm the one, I'm not the person who like to go fishing. I'm more. I like to spend my time in active way. Okay, of course, some movies, TV series, uh, traveling. Traveling. I try to plan at least once a year some holidays with my wife. Once a year, holidays with my kids. I'm playing the squash. To be in in physical health. I think that's the things.
Me, how do you see the tech ecosystem today? Do you take part in events? Do you talk with other tech guys? Or how do you see the tech ecosystem? Do you think we do enough for the community? We do enough for the world?
If we're talking about the vintage, I think this is already pretty much the past. This is what we had before. Now already comes the new segments, new niches. I think at the beginning of this year, everybody was spectator of new generation. When we for the first time saw artificial intelligence in real life, I think this was for everybody. Depends on when you for the first time you saw. Therefore, their life is changing, and the only thing you can do is to live with them, to understand, to learn, to study, and not to be afraid. If we are doing enough, I think I would like to believe that everybody is doing maximum what they can, of course, but industry in general, I think they, in some point of view, sometimes the legislation is coming too late. For instance, some supportive instruments is coming too late because the society or the new things is developing much faster than human can understand and can realize. I mean, the artificial intelligence is something like in, I don't know, in 60s, 70s, when my father, for the first time, after the horses, saw the tractor. Okay. And this is new era, and everybody understands that nothing will be the same. Everything will change. And as soon as you will adapt yourself, the sooner you can use these new technologies in favor, not against you.
But do you think governments are policing AI too much? We are very early. We don't know even the potential. We don't know where actually we are going to. But they're already trying to policing a lot, which can very limit into development. Do you think is, for example, Europe, we are doing too much to try to contain?
I think this is my personal view. I think that Europe already lost in this AI war in front of the States and the China. I think we are the continent without our own AI solution. The solutions always come faster than the governments can adapt for that. The thing is that they are trying to limit the possibilities. I think they are doing right because a lot of people don't realize what is artificial intelligence and what is real life.
Are you concerned about the climate change?
No, because this is the thing I cannot impact myself. There is, and you cannot worry. Even though I'm trying to do as much as I can as individual. I mean, recycling things. Even though that you understand that this is from other persons, this is just a business. But if you can do something in favor of the global health, global climate, so yeah, why not? Why not? So every small step counts.
Yeah, everyone, each of us must do something. You're right. There are things that you can do above what you're doing already. You're not the one who's going to fix this problem. I'm not the one who's going to fix this problem for sure. Because what we can do, we can in somehow do our part. And we must do this for sure. That's indeed must be done. But it comes to the again to the politics. When it comes to politics, everything is over before even start. But anyway, there is nothing to do. Politicians are driven by being charged, stay there and sitting as long as you can. So it's very opposite for delivering. That's my point and my take when it comes to politics. But which are the things that really touch you that you are willing to fight for?
In professional life or in so I think for me the most
One,
important,
it's all.
yeah, for me the first as a first priority is my family, and I'm very proud of my family. This is, I think, this is the major thing in my life, um, about what we are doing. So trying I'm trying to do some, as at the beginning I was saying, I'm trying to do some legacy. For example, in the last year's, one of my personal succeed was a family coat of arm. This was my goal for the 7 years, and 2 years ago I finalized. This was I feel very proud as an individual that I did it for my family. Mm, and some other, when you see, for example, that your kids succeeding, it always gives a lot of happiness for you. And yeah, another inspiration thing is just traveling and seeing around and other nationalities to understand another people. This always gives me a lot of good emotions.
The best book and author.
I think one of the this is one of the books I read 8 years ago. The book is called Game Over. Was about the investment world and what will happen in each segment. And I'm still one, two times a year and opening this book and looking for the things what was written over there. The book was, I think, published in 2005, about, and we are touching about things like how important is the water, and it really teaches me a lot of things in my life. I forgot the author of the book, but how important will be the water, the energy, and all the oil. When it will go down, the prices will boom, and other things. This was very inspirational for me. I mean, and other things is about the famous people, about the sportsmen, uh, whatever, about Donald Trump, about the Dalai Lama, about their path. But the most inspirational was the Game Over.
And the best movie and actor.
That's another where. uh, yeah, the best move. Tom Hank Airport might be one of the top movies. Even though I like a lot of comedians like Dumb and Dumber. Okay, but I think the most inspirational was the Airport by the Tom Hank. And all the movies with the Tom Hank it's my priority. The Captain, uh, even the last one.
He's a great actor, indeed. It's a very good one. One of the best one, probably. One of the more eclectic. What's the best lesson that life gave to you?
I think because I have two kids, I'm thinking about how to motivate them, you know. And this was a lesson from my father when I finished high school and I needed to decide in which university I want to go and study. I already passed all the exams in the banking university here in Latvia. And at that day, when I needed to go and pay the first installment of the studies, he gave me the money and told, here, son, here you have the money, but before you pay, think twice if this is the things you want to do. I will be happy in both scenarios. And I went to the bookstore. I bought a book, Where to Study Further. And at that day, I decided I want to go and study in Latvian Maritime Academy, port management. And at that day, I bring all the papers to the Latvian University Academy and started studies over there, submitted the papers and everything else. And this was, I think, one of the best things I remember in my life, that my father trusted on me that I will be doing the right decision rather than to pull in some of the directions. He said, I fully trust you that you'll be making the right decision. Here you have some of the money. And I still feel happy about this one, about this step from his side as well.
That's extremely smart. It gives you a responsibility. You know what you're doing. You had the money, but you must make the right choice. So you start making the right choice at the very beginning of your life.
Yeah, and then comes, of course, then comes the banking. So after that, I appeared in the banking segment, and banks always gives a lot of contacts, and I think that's my biggest asset. What I have is the contacts from the banking times.
What's your greatest wish?
Ah, yeah, greatest wish.
Any. For yourself, for the world, for your family.
Yeah, I think for my personal, to become a philosopher. I think this is the highest level of the human where you can about which you can think. I mean, in society, this is the highest level for the society. Of course, this is about all the things where everybody is hoping. No war, no death is no useless death is. And but these are the things you cannot impact or impact these decisions. So you know to live a happy life, to live the life that you'll remember with fun, and you don't need to regret. I mean, to write my own story. This was very inspirational from the movie Australia, and I still believe this is one of my greatest motivations, to write the story of yourself.
Give your story and build your legacy.
Yeah,
You're right.
yeah.
This is what we must follow us. That's true. Let me close with a recommendation. If you can give a recommendation to all the founders watching this podcast, what it would be?
Don't be afraid. Take the first steps, and then you will see what the next steps or what the next direction will be. But don't be afraid to take the first steps. I can promise that there will be the problems, but I can promise that there will be a good days as well, where you'll be super happy about what you did.
Yanis, thank you so much for coming to the Live Fund. It's been absolutely a pleasure for me. Thank you.
Me either. Thank you very much, Max, for the great conversation.